What would you say is a big mistake that you want to highlight to the listeners?
Get paid before you do anything. I don't care. I don't care who the person is. Do not do anything unless you get paid, or you will not get paid.
Selling my own little firm may be difficult down the line.
Even if it's just you, I have $300K a year. I listened to Sharrin and I set it up super automated. I could sell this and now I got 600 grand in my pocket.
Can you give me the journey of your career?
And they're like, look, we're selling this. And I'm like, and I'm not working for people anymore. This sucks. I'm going back to my own thing. I don't want to have to go sit behind a desk every day. That's my worst nightmare.
Sharrin.
Yari!
All right, you went on that one. Welcome to the Fun CPA Podcast. We have so much to talk about here, and I'm really excited to have you on the show. We got to meet at Bridging the Gap, and here we are, bridging the gap.
That's
reconnecting
right.
Again. Yes, that's my specialty, dad jokes. What is it now? 6 months, whatever the math is later. To anybody that doesn't know who you are, who are you in less than 60 seconds?
Oh man, I'm a force. I'm Sharrin Fuller. I had an accounting firm. I sold it, started another accounting firm, sold it. Passion lies with advising accounting firm owners, solopreneurs, people really that are starting up, that are great at their service, but are like, I don't know how to get here, or I can't get out of the weeds. So that is where I focus on now. A lot of advisory, a lot of, I have a community. So passion really lied there in helping people. I wish I could do it for free, but I can't. This world costs money. Otherwise, I love helping people, and I love building businesses.
I can see that. That's pretty impressive. So 3 firms you've sold?
I mean, technically.
Yeah.
One of them I was the buyer. Well, me and my other partner were the buyer. So,
right.
But I still sold the firm I had with a different partner to me and a different partner. So I was the buyer and the acquirer.
All right.
I like to, keep my circle small.
I could see that. And I like that. Small tangent. I see a bunch of rock stuff in the background. Favorite genre,
have you not
I guess I
seen
can guess.
my stuff? Do I need to up it for you?
Yes.
So we've got Prince, Art Alexakis, and Bowie, of course. And then the guitar was sent to me on my 40th birthday by Art Alexakis, because I am their #1 fan. And he was actually paid for him to cut. Everybody's heard the story that knows me has probably heard this 10 times because people think it's fake, but it's not. He was I paid for him to come to my house because, he's a 1996. So he does, he's not and he's cool. He knows where he is. Anyhow, so I paid for him to come to my house for the 40th, and he was going to cook and sing for 10 of us. And then COVID hit. So all I got was this signed Fender Strat. I mean, and my money back.
Yeah. How much does something like that run, man? That's interesting.
It was $15K.
I feel like that's not bad.
No, I didn't
that
think
experience.
so.
What's his cooking like? I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, so apparently he's a good cook. I don't know. I didn't even care. I couldn't care. I just wanted to hang out with the dude. I've met him so many times, and I always do his VIP meet and greets and chit chat with him. So he's just so fun to talk to. He's just a really down to earth, cool dude. And I don't know if you've ever listened to him when he does the series. He used to have a every Sunday. It was he did it. Anyhow, he's just a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And I love his
awesome.
music.
So, this is, and it's interesting we went on this tangent, and now it's really bringing me to why, I really thought it'd be cool to have you on the show, which this whole conversation we just had in the last 3 minutes.
So we're done.
Is a good, that's it. No, is a good indicator of just you being not like any other accountant, and not, and being outgoing.
Been bittersweet, I tell you that.
Being outgoing, being a personable person. And the funny thing is when we were at Bridging the Gap, so I'm close with the guys over at Anchor, Tal, Ram, and I'm talking to them.
I'm client #2 of Anchor. You know that, right?
I know. They told me.
Okay.
And they were
I make sure they tell them. It's in my agreement. I'm like,
you better. Yeah. And
you print people's picture on a wall. I better be on that wall. They don't even dare. They're like, here's a Sharrin pillow because I love them so much. I don't want money.
Great. No,
I just want everybody to know I love them.
That's right. And
loyal.
they sure. And he goes. They both went to me. That you have to meet Sharrin. You have to talk to her. And then I think they introduced us at some point at that Bridging the Gap thing.
Probably.
And then you were like, "Who is this guy?" It was weird. I remember this distinctly. And then later,
Yeah,
like the next day,
totally sounds like
we hung out, like we went to like a happy hour thing, and then you're like, wait, so you're the Yuri guy. Anyway,
Yuri!
Yeah. And then we reconnected, and then the Yuri and the Sharrin thing started. So anyway,
so fun.
Being that we are accountants with personality, can you like give me like the journey of your career as you like get started?
Can I just send people my book?
Yeah,
it's all in there.
Yes, you should promote it. Bring it up to the camera.
It is. The book really is the journey of my career and how I got to where I am, which I am not. A lot of people don't realize I didn't go to college. I do not have a CPA. Math was just easy. I would start at a company and I'd always move up somehow I'd move up, right? Because I'm a go-getter. Let's fix this. Let's get it done. And I called things out, and that either made people mad or it made them be like, I want to work. We need her. So I worked up the ladder, ended up at Costco, was having fun opening Costco's. And then I just couldn't handle like the bureaucracy. It was terrible. Yeah. And during all this time, I wanted to make other money. So I got my manicurist license. So I ended up buying a nail salon, and we did permanent makeup and tanning and all this stuff. And that's how I kind of got into my accounting world. Is I had employees. I had to run payroll back then. That was like 2003, 2 or 3. So I mean, back then it was like this little tiny. I mean, the computer was like those little boxes that you play Oregon Trail on, for those of you that were alive during that time. And, you find Carmen Sandiego in the black and green. So I think it was definitely QuickBooks, but anyhow, it was crazy. And you did everything by paper back then. At least I did. And that's why I'm like, oh, accounting's kind of fun. And then I ended up selling it, moving to California, I've always been in sales, like honestly, something sells. And I always end up going from selling to customer service manager because I'm good with people. And then finally, after a couple of jobs I had, and then I was an operations manager, cold storage facility. When they're like, look, we're selling this. And I'm like, son of a gun, I'm not working for people anymore. This sucks. I'm going back to my own thing. But I didn't want to be stuck. Like when I had my salon, I had to be in my salon, and I hated that. And I now lived in San Diego. I'm 24. I don't want to have to go sit behind a desk every day. That's like my worst nightmare. Actually, I was 26 by the time I started my company. I wanted to be able to work on a laptop wherever I wanted. So I figured all the people that were running rooms at the cold storage facility, they're like, we wish we could hire you, but we've only got like 5 hours a week. I'm like, oh, there's like 8 to 10 of you. That's a full-time friggin' job. So I started my company, A Simple Office Solution. I was a mobile office manager. And then from there, I was just doing office management and really light bookkeeping, filing, things like that. And then it just all was just so easy to me. And I say that lightly because I know it just came easy. And then I started working with tax accountants and CPAs and tax attorneys and sitting through audits. And so my firm ended up growing from being like an office manager, bookkeeper to a fractional CFO, fractional controller firm specializing in VC-backed startups that are software as a service. So I really got into that San Francisco money. Then I sold it. So I'm never doing this again. And then I did it again. So there we are. Yeah.
What a story.
I unfollowed the rules.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you got to bring that up to the camera so we can all see it.
I will. I will.
Yes, you should. We'll promote that. We'll promote that in the show notes.
Oh, it's backwards because okay, so is this confusing?
No, it's fine. Unfollow the rules. I can read.
I can't take when it's backwards because if I do this, I want my camera to do this. And when I do this, and then I go there. So this is actually in my office written backwards. So when people come in, they're like, what is happening? I'm like, get out. None of your business.
Oh, that's
because you can see it says to Sharrin.
Yes. Yeah, that one is backwards. That one is that's good.
Yeah.
What a story. So that's a fascinating journey, and not even being accounting trained, just literally picking up bookkeeping and books and then growing it to what it was. What was your revenue when you sold it?
We were up about to 1.5. So we were doing pretty good. I didn't have a ton of clients. Our clients were very hands-on, they were larger. I think our average client was like 7,500, 40. No, I lied. I think it was 4,500, but we had some that were like 10, 15K. We had some that were like 1,000. So, but they were they had boards. It was a lot of custom work. So when we started the new firm, I'm like, I want cash basis, rinse and repeat. Like I want the people who are like, no, I want to do my own things. I just need you to do my books. Tell me I'm doing something wrong. Tell me if this let her mean something or not, and then move on from there. So definitely went a whole different route with the new one. I like the new
Mm.
one better.
Yeah, when you said to me that you were working with these VC backed and startups and SaaS, and I'm like, oh God, like to me that sounds like a nightmare.
It is,
Um,
and it's
it,
where I get my no nonsense. Like, can we just cut the crap? Because
yeah,
I started
yeah,
my journey with like these multi-millionaire dudes that are
yeah,
extremely smart, and I'm the only girl. I'm the diversity on the board, right? Because I'm the only
yeah,
female.
yeah.
And they're like, we got to add her in. So that's how I got used to dealing with people in business. Now people are like, she's too curt, and I know what they really mean, but I'm like, it's business. Stop
Yeah,
crying. Get it done.
yeah. And you had that. What was your like structure internally? Like, was it how
Oh my
many
God, it's a mess.
employees did you have?
I thought back then,
What?
I thought more employees the better. Let's
Mm,
hire more employees. Look how
yeah,
successful I am. More, and that was, and then I'd run through employees because I couldn't keep it up. And systems back then aren't what they are now. I mean,
yeah,
our
yeah,
original project, I think Asana had just barely came out, right?
yeah,
Um, so by the time we scaled, it was really too hard to go in and fix because everything was so custom.
yeah,
And it was just going to take money and time, which is why I decided to sell because I didn't want to invest the money. I needed more
yeah.
help and I was burnt. But no, I did not have it set up correctly. It was just more of I taught one person and she was really good. And then I would have her
Mm,
teach people. But then you end up with like the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, where you're making a
yeah.
copy of a copy of a copy. And the next thing they go, I like pizza, Steve. I'm quoting the movie if you don't know it.
Yes, yes.
I like pizza. I got a wallet. I can drive, because he's a copy of a copy. Anyhow, it's a funny
Yeah,
movie, which it doesn't work.
yeah.
So, but it
Did
sold. It was valuable. It had money, but the structure wasn't there like it was with my current one. My current one, I had 2 employees,
wow. So
and
at its height, how many people were working for you? How many
at
clones?
SOS.
At SOS, yeah.
See, I still feel like you're focusing on. I still feel like you're focusing on people as success, and it's not. So I think the most I had was 16.
So I'm going in this direction, and interestingly enough,
Okay.
I'm not looking at it as the more people you have, the more successful you are. I certainly don't believe that.
I feel like that's what it is in
Look,
our
if you look
industry, though.
around, it is. If you look
Okay.
around where I'm currently at, all by myself here in my office, I certainly cannot be the one to say that. In fact, and we'll get to it a little later, I'm for now kind of like against it somewhat in some
100%.
respects, because I feel like there's a decision to be made, and again, we'll get to it in a little bit, but there's a decision to be made where you're going, okay, take that leap, hire someone, bring somebody on, and then take a huge hit to your bottom line that you may not necessarily have to do, and you're just creating yourself a ginormous headache. So that's where I'm kind of headed with this, which,
Yep. Good.
so
Good. Just want to make sure.
don't worry, I'm not one of those.
I'm like, are we gonna fight today? It's only 10 a.m. my time, but let's do it.
Listen, we can always battle, but no,
You see me in WhatsApp. I'm the first. Everyone, I know they're thinking it in the background. I know they're all texting each other, be like, look at this person. I'm like, F you. But then I get called out for being the crazy one, but everybody else is saying it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you cannot have possibly belonged in any sort of corporate America,
No.
or I just picture you being there in like a Costco equivalent or something.
Oh,
as
I
you
get
said.
fired.
You'd be just
I'm like, this
saying,
is stupid.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
People don't like that, but anyway.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Ask why I probably won't be talking to Intuit ever again.
Yeah, we can get to that too, but we might have to
This is
bleep that out. Yeah. So you sell this firm. Was it easy to sell?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's
So
it.
that's an
Yeah.
interesting thing for me as well. Now, so people ask a lot of times, a lot of folks are trying to build this thing, and honestly, whenever I say that I'm not really interested in growing my top line because right now my focus is my time, right? I don't want to necessarily work 80 hours a week so I can get 2 million or 3 million or $5 million gross revenue so that I can scale and become a sellable asset. That's what a lot of people will say to me when I share my thoughts on this stuff, and like, what you're building, whatever. A bunch of haters online. Anyway, so when I say that, people do that. But to me, I'm like, to some extent, it is interesting to say, like, what does the sellability look like, and like selling my own little firm may be difficult down the line, and I can imagine that.
Yes. So I think it's going to get more. So people want the clients, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
want the clients that are attached to somebody. The more they're attached to a person and the client may be lost, if a person is lost, the less
Yeah.
desirable your firm is, which
Mm.
is opposite of where we need to be in the accounting industry. At this point, as you're building your firms, you're building to sell it or you're building for longevity. And if you're building the longevity, relationships is what matters because technology is going to replace a lot of the hands-on stuff that we do. So they
Yeah.
need to be, which makes it harder to sell, right? Unless you go
Yeah.
along with it. So yeah, we've kind of got a catch 22. We're at this kind of weird phase where people are buying firms to grow and they're buying those ones that maybe feel like I'm just done. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still a way to do it. But really what it comes down to is if you don't go with it, if one of your
Yeah.
team members don't go with it, are the clients going to leave? Like
Right.
that's what makes your firm valuable or not.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, to your point, if it's just me and I have a $300,000 or $400,000 firm, right, revenue
Annual revenue. I mean,
yeah.
so here's the thing, Yuri, even if it's just you,
Yeah.
you could still be like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I have 300K a year. Well, God, I listened to Sharrin and I set it up super automated. I could sell this and now I have 600 grand in my pocket and I could take a vacation, I could retire, whatever you want to do. So the idea is the people I work with, I want to get them 2x. I sold my firm for 2x. Average is 1.1 to 1.5.
Yeah.
But depending on your automations, your processes, and how hands-on or hands-off you are, depends on what the multipliers are. So mine went 2x net, 4x EBITDA. And I stand by it. Like you look at my processes, you don't need me. We did transition when I wasn't even in the office, and it just was smooth because everything's set up the way to where it can just run. I mean, I've been working inside my firm maybe 2 to 3 hours a week for the past year. That's it.
Wow.
And we have about 100 clients. I've got 2 full-time employees. I've got a couple of outsourced bookkeepers that are overseas. But no, we just automation, tech, process, everything's documented.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me let's go on this tangent because I like this.
Okay.
What are those steps? So I'll put it this way to you right now, and maybe it's a little different because I do have a tax firm. I don't have a bookkeeping firm, right?
Okay, we do tax. We do all of it.
Okay, cool. So
I'm sorry, we did. I don't have it anymore. I do none of it. They do all of it.
You have sold it again for 2x?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're a 2x specialist. All right, got it. Okay.
I mean, my last one was 1.5 and it was an earn out. This was 2x up front. So.
Okay, cool. The last one, the original, the SOS.
S Simple Office Solution was 1.5x with the earn out.
With the earn out. Okay. Actually, so is the earn out usually like a couple years later?
No, I did it in a 1 year, but you get like a maybe 50% up front of what the value is, and then at the end of the next 3 quarters, you earn back. You earn based on the client sticking, and that's typically based on how your contracts are written.
So it's almost like a clawback provision in a sense.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Great for the seller. Or for the buyer. I'm sorry. Great for the buyer. Terrible for the seller.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. It is, but you know what? On the attrition side. Yeah, I mean, good coverage for the seller. Sorry, good coverage for the buyer because they're like, oh well, if you drop out, then the new contract term is whatever. But no seller financing or anything like that. So it wasn't like a note or anything. It was just once the year was up.
No. Okay, SBA cool. Done.
SBA cool. Yeah. So 2x, and then 2x was the last sell.
Yeah.
2x. Okay, cool. So how do we get there? So I am, right now, this year, 2026, I think I'm gonna say it now. Maybe I'll put it out there in the universe, but I'm gonna hit 400.
Okay.
It's me. I'm a lean firm. I have contractors that are helping me with the bookkeeping side of things on a split right now between consistent, like recurring, monthly. So and let me take a step back. I have 3 packages. So you got tax only, where I do the tax prep, pretty straightforward. That's obviously happening right now. It's January. I got quarterly, where I'm also doing like a quarterly consulting call. We're going over the financials and we're doing some tax planning on a quarterly basis. So a little more advisory there. And then I got monthly, where they pay me a monthly fee and we do the books. I focus on very, very simple, like you said, very straightforward things. I don't need complexity in my life. So. And then, we're just doing that meeting and then still meeting quarterly. So the only additional thing with those is the bookkeeping itself, which I don't do. So right now I'm at about 85, 86 clients.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah, I'm not looking like it. My main goal.
No, it's a lot of work, especially if you're, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to see your structure or how you have it, but
yeah.
it
I'll share
can
with you.
be. What's your software? What are you using? What's your project management tool?
So project management.
You're going to
So
say
project
Financial
management.
Sense?
So actually, it was Tax Dome is my
Mm.
like PM, like for tax, mostly for just tax documents. So
Ooh, people are mad at them.
I know they've been really getting
I don't use them, but I'm like, ooh,
yeah, they're
accounts are
getting a lot of they're
mad. They're the
mad.
new
And
Intuit.
they're yeah. The main issue. This is my personal opinion, and I've shared it with them too. Like sometimes people doing too much. Like if you're a PM that's doing bill pay or whatever and invoicing and engagement letters and tax document exchange, and now we're offering this thing. Now what happened most recently is Tax Dome got rid of CPA charge, which was their platform for charging the clients. And it's
Yeah.
like, again, if you're relying on that, and by the way, yeah, and obviously they did it in January,
Yeah, they're like,
which
oh,
is yeah,
we couldn't
sorry.
have told you like last September 16th
Yeah.
and prepped you.
And people, and I have shared, so I share my financials every year. I shared my financials a couple weeks ago. And then after that, I did a little breakdown of each thing. And I wrote in there what I use for my tech
You
stuff.
share your financials. You're a
Yeah.
brave son of a bee.
You know what the craziest thing about that? And I
This
know
is
we're
the
going,
most backstabby. Our whole little accounting people, I can't tell who the most backstabby, like hugging you and wishing you'd fail group of people I think I've ever met. There are some amazing ones, but others
yes.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I really trust you.
Yeah.
I think my problem
It's
is I'm
so
not that way. I'm like, you won't hear me talk crap about you because I'll tell you. Like I just am not that way. So I never do well with that.
It's
Sorry.
so funny you mentioned that because it's the same exact feeling. And that's why I feel like we get along and understand that because I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, like I'll take, and I mean, I'm from, like Northeast, like New Jersey, New York. This is just how it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
I love East
need,
Coasters for that reason. Like,
yeah,
tell me
like
how it is. I
tell
don't
me
have
how it
time
is.
to
You don't
talk
need to
crap
sugarcoat
about
it.
you.
But sharing the financials is weird, especially because like some other folks out there share financials, but some people just kind of do it like, hey, here's a video, right? Like and like break it down. Like Logan Graff does that, for example. He'll kind of go over his financials and he'll doesn't have it there. I literally, because I don't think these things through. I don't got time to sit there and make plans of how I'm gonna reveal it. I go and I hit freaking print, like print to PDF, and then I put it right on to
There you go.
to the LinkedIn. And yeah, I mean the reactions I've gotten are weird because just to your point, it's like I've gotten like a full out audit of my shit.
Oh,
like
that's
I'm
somebody
not,
who's got a lot of time on their hand. I'm like,
people
you're
are like,
auditing my financials.
they're
You don't know
literally
my
sitting
life.
there and they were going like, so I don't understand why your insurance went up so much. And I'm like, you're missing the point, man. Like, this isn't a roast here. I mean,
I'm
by
not
all
asking
means,
for your advice.
right. I'm just sharing this so you get, and the whole point of it is to say, I work under 40 hours a week, year round, including right now in tax season. And then when it's done being tax season, I'm going to work 10 to 15 hours a week.
Yep. Love it.
That's my goal. And
I work 3 days.
And
that's it.
Like, and to me, I'm like, I don't care what that means financially. Like, that's what I really share. And that's really what I move on. Lifestyle firm, call it whatever you want.
Yep.
That's what I'm not interested in doing 80 to 90 hours a week. That is not what I'm making this firm. The people that do, that's great. And they'll do tremendously better than me financially. But that isn't my goal. So, and I think we went on a tangent and I forgot what.
No, have you ever had Nick Boscia on here?
So
the
yes.
Balance CPA?
So
That's my buddy.
You say that. Yes, it's funny you say that because hang on, I had to see if I could find this right now for you.
Because that's his thing. The Balance CPA just wants to travel, do his thing, and that's his whole thing too. That's his whole.
I'm showing
there
if
you
you're listening.
go.
Him and I just did it in person. Want to hear a fun fact? He lives 10 minutes. He lives 10 minutes away from me. So, and I've known him and his brother.
Fiance are amazing.
Yeah, they're really nice, Christine, they come to all my events. They've been to almost every single one of them, and they're really good supporters. And
we sat on the ADP board together. That's how we met, and then we've been friends ever since. I'm going to his wedding in May.
Ooh, nice! And fun fact is that the Balance CPA, he told me on the podcast. So this is not hearsay here. He told me that it came from my Fun CPA brand, and that meant a lot to me, which was cool. Because his whole thing
awesome.
our whole conversation too was also very interesting because we got to talking about the whole like taking it over from your dad, or like, you know, and like really like updating something that's like so old school and so like traditional. Like for me, I started it from scratch, so I could do whatever I want. But like, we were forced to make that kind of change. So anyway, in all the processes and all the things. So anyway, to go back, now I remember where we were. TaxDome is my portal for client portal. I don't use their native client charge. I use Anchor for the you know, invoicing, engagement letters. Super easy, super straightforward.
Love Anchor.
I just implemented Financial Sense because prior to that, I was literally like on an Excel. Like, where I was tracking, and you know, I was like literally had columns where it said like engagement letter sent, signed, brought back, documents sent and uploaded to TaxDome, ready for prep, prepared, reviewed, and e-filed. That was my little columns, and I would mark X, and to some extent, like if it works, it works. Like I don't know, I'm a big believer in like, yes, there's tech out there, and maybe I'm missing out, but like sometimes I'm like, is the pain of switching over to something else like worth the other side? I don't know. I'm always torn on that part of it. You know what I mean? Like, do I just keep doing this Excel thing, or do I try it? So anyway, trying out Financial Sense for now for the workflow piece of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to see how that goes. What else do I got? I use Abacor for my
I was just looking into them this morning.
Yeah, really good. I actually have Ping, both of them are really been big supporters. Abacor, actually, David, I met him at Bridge in the Gap, and then he's the CEO of Abacor. He was there, so he was great. Really big supporter. We've done events together, so he's been a really good guy. But those are really awesome. Actually, note takers, phenomenal for accounting stuff and really capturing the information and all that. Ping is the other one that I've actually had both of them in a meeting once against each other, like kind of like, to see what the kind of notes they would come up with.
And
so it's pretty cool.
They're about the same?
They're about the same, I would say.
We're going to see a lot of, I think so. I was just having this conversation on QuickBooks Power Hour, and I'm like, we're going to see a lot. Things are going to start aligning, and it's just going to be user interface and relationship. Like, I like the layout of this better than the layout of this. And you know,
100%. Yeah.
And I use Motion for me personally. I don't, for my firm, we use Client Hub, but I use Motion. And it's got my calendar, it's got my note taker, and I like it because it pulls into my tasks and as I'm on calls. And so I see all these other things, and I'm like, I need this feature, but not these features. Like I'm trying to find an email autoresponder. I tried Fixer and I just didn't like it. But I found one called starts with an S. It's like Spooze or something. Snooze with 3 O's. And it looks perfect. It's just email. It's not like, hey, we're gonna do all these things. So I'm going to try that out and see if that works. But yeah, I love AI. I have conversations with my chat GPT. Like she's like almost my best friend. I'm going to send her like a beef rye necklace, you know, get the other half of the heart.
Yeah. Oh, that's, you know, I mean, I feel like there's definitely two waves of people with this AI stuff, but I have this feeling that you're probably like, you're like a Zap queen.
Oh my God. I'm like 250. I zap everything. The minute I do something, like when I'm automatically, somebody's birthday's coming up and I'm automatically posting a happy birthday, I create a Zap. And when somebody's birthday's coming up, I've got like 3 different templates, and it pulls it into Slack. It gives them, and then it auto sends them a birthday gift card. I don't have to worry about it. I don't miss any birthdays anymore.
That is
for my
fascinating.
team.
So
other people, I don't care.
Yeah. By the way, and if anybody listening doesn't know what Zap means, Zapier, it is a platform that allows you to combine different things to get different apps together, so long as they have their API public, and then you can make connections. Like for example, you know, like if you have TaxDome and you have Anchor and you have Financial Sense, and you want them all to talk to each other, you can set up these processes. But you know, interestingly enough, like this is from my own take on this, and I know that there's value in it, but sometimes like I go and I open up Zapier and I'm like, it's so overwhelming. Like
it is now, right? It is totally overwhelming, and I'm still like, nope, I just know what I need to do. I finally used the AI assistant the other day, and I was amazed. It built this I'm like, okay, so now I trust it. Because for a long time I felt like it wasn't listening, and it made assumptions, and it became more work. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
finally
exactly.
used it, and I was
Mm.
like, okay, so I can now talk to this like my chat GPT, and it's learning me, and it built this amazing Zap with like an auto email response. It put in HTML, and it did everything for me.
Well,
So it was actually really good, but it can be overwhelming. I need to do like a course on that or something, although I'm sure
yeah.
somebody already has.
Yeah, because people talk about it a lot, and then like I said, I went in there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I opened it up and I'm like, and I like logged into like whatever it is I wanted to do. And first, you have to also think in that way to say
Yeah.
you have to first identify what the pain point is,
Yep.
how much is it bothering you, and then you got to go down the line of okay, where what is the fix,
Yep.
and how do you flow through it, and only then do you go to this Zapier thing, and
Yep.
then and then try to replicate your brain into. So I'm like, so I'll be like, okay, I don't know. And one of the biggest challenges when you are a solo person is every distraction, call it, or maybe distraction is a strong
I
word,
was
right? Like every,
just going to mention
yeah,
that. So yeah, I know you're going. Uh-huh.
it's like everything you want to do is time away from whatever it is, like the business itself, right?
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's this big struggle that I constantly have where I'm like, okay, I'll give you an example, like a new technology piece that I might need or I might not need. People talk about, I like, do all this due diligence so you can decide which app you want to use. Maybe Anchor, maybe Ignition, maybe blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, like, I don't have time. So
Yeah.
literally, like, my decision when I went and I chose Anchor, one, I just like the guy, like Tal and Ram made a good
Yes.
impression on me. I was like, awesome.
Relationships,
Yep.
right? It's the people. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Okay, sorry,
And
keep
then,
going.
and then, no, you're good. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, like these guys are cool guys. I like them. And then I go, okay, now, like, what about the actual platform? Oh, wow. I don't have to pay a subscription fee and
Love that. Or a user
transaction fee
fee.
or a
Yeah,
user fee
it's
or a subscription. I'm like, $5 a transaction. Good, great. Sign me up. Like, we're done.
yeah. I love
So,
it.
and that's how a lot of my decisions are made. And sometimes perhaps it's not ideal, but I just don't have time. So that's really where I'm trying
Yeah.
to get to. Like, how do you balance as a solo person, like making those kind of tech decisions when time is
I feel like
limited?
if somebody's like, if it's repetitive, I do this a lot. It only takes me 5 minutes, but I do it a lot. Do it,
Yeah.
take 10 minutes, do it one last time and never do it
Mm,
again. And it takes you 5 minutes and you only do it once a day, it's 25 minutes a week, 50, that's 50,
yeah.
that's almost 2 hours a month, 24 hours a year that you have saved. And that's just, high level. That's a lot of freaking time to
Yeah.
just write one Zap in 10 minutes. And like I said, with their AI module in there now, you can just give me this. And it's like, boom, 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 boom. And you don't really
Yeah.
have to do much of anything. But whenever somebody says that, oh, it only takes you 5 minutes. But how many times do you do it? And that's just
Right.
the task. You have to stop what you're doing. You
Yes.
have to figure it out, do it, mark it off, and then get back into the next thing. Imagine if you just don't have to think about it at all and it's just done. You get a
Yeah.
notification that it's just done, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of this as like somebody to put myself in the shoes of the listener here and myself too, and like trying to think of an example of something that I do. Because again, one of the other tough things is to actually sit down like this and think of the things that take you 5 minutes.
I do it as I go. So as I go, I tell people it gets really overwhelming when you're trying, what am I going to automate?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
you're going, just cognitively and make
Yeah.
yourself remember, what am I doing? For one thing that's huge is my LinkedIn, right? But I don't want to go in. I don't want the notices. But I use Slack as my communication hub. So since we've
Mm,
been sitting here, I've gotten 4 things that say, hey, Sharrin, this person messaged you, this person messaged you. And I get a little summary. So I can even see
mm,
if I need to hop in and look or not. I'm like, nope, that can wait. Nope. Oh,
uh,
there's so and so, I need to go respond to that. That's a big thing for me. Instead of stopping and clicking into LinkedIn, there's a quick summary right there, I can look.
mm,
And I don't know, that's just another thing. And then my team knows, oh shoot, somebody responded, let me go in there. So that's
mm.
just like I have a channel for it.
Okay. That's solid.
That's
Yeah.
just
One of
something
the
simple. And then
yeah,
getting into LinkedIn, if you have to click into LinkedIn, that's a whole other, you're out, you're done. So
I'm
I just
done.
want to monitor my messages and whether or not somebody commented on a post of mine if I need to know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't want to get into LinkedIn during the workday.
Yeah, that's a big problem of mine. I mean, that's huge.
See?
It's just like,
I
yeah,
save so
you
much
just
time.
nailed it. You nailed it right away. Well, my problem is I'm in there making the posts, and I'm in there, and
Yeah.
and literally, like, I mean,
Hey,
I have,
I got people for that.
yeah, well, that's good. I could,
I don't like social media marketing. I overthink it, especially I overthink LinkedIn. I'm like,
yeah,
this is more of a Facebook or so I
yeah,
let them
yeah.
do it and then I jump in and comment and do things like that. But I don't schedule my posts because I don't think I know how to act appropriately on LinkedIn.
It's funny, like, it's more so of just a like being yourself, being authentic,
I think
and
it's a
people.
stuffy Facebook.
It's a very stuffy Facebook. It's a Facebook or a link or what that's just out there showing you like highlight reels of like great success. And so
And I
when
get annoyed because some of these people I work with, and I'm not outing anybody, but I
yeah,
get social media is like watching the Kardashians. I mean, that's not really a great example anymore, but like Real
yeah,
Housewives of Beverly Hills, you see all their amazingness, but then we're seeing the drama behind. That's what social media is, even for
yeah,
businesses. Here's
yeah,
my huge win, but it cost me 3 times this to make it happen because nobody likes to talk about their failures. They just want to be like,
yeah,
I did
yeah,
great. And not me. I'm like, no, I did
yeah.
that. I ate crap on that one.
I talk about my failures all the time,
Yeah, you
and
have
then
to.
and I share that, and that seems to do well. But you know what's interesting about LinkedIn and like in social media in general is just like at the end of the day, like, and I've connected with probably I would say like 15 or so, maybe 20 people that are genuinely like great connections and great people. But other than those folks, it means nothing. And what I mean
Yeah.
by that is like, oh, sure, I have 22,000 followers. Oh, amazing. I have, people commenting and stuff like that, and my impressions, all those kinds of interesting things. But at the end of the day, like if I spend, and I'm scared to even admit how much I spend because it's like 10 to 15 hours a week sometimes of commenting and being authentic, doing all that. But like,
Yeah.
and I like it's in a sense it's like, yeah, you're spending that time, but then at one point, and this is 4 years later of posting, what am I doing on here? Like that's really what a big part of 2025 was for me, and zoning in now in 2026 and being more mindful of it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a goal out of it and you're just sharing, like I could have probably grown my firm even more by now. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
so it's a
100%.
consideration
I get that.
that I
But then
think
it's
is important.
hard, right? You have something you do that you're really good at it, and then you have
Yeah,
things you do that you're really passionate about. Sometimes they don't align. You're like, okay, what I want to do is this thing I'm passionate about and make it to where I can monetize it. But until then, I need to keep doing this thing I'm really good at because I need to
yeah,
be able to get to this point. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck.
yeah.
But
I
you can't just sit on your butt and let it come to you. Like you have
yeah,
to, if you want to monetize what you're doing here and you want to make a big thing out of it, you have to spend a lot of time in it, right? You have to,
yeah,
none of us like fell into, I mean, not none of us, but a lot of us just busted our butts. Like, yeah, you
yeah,
see me working 3 days a week, you working less than 40. People are thinking, how'd they get there? I'm like, because I
yeah,
used to work 80, 90 hours a week. Like, I've
yeah,
done all this. Like, I've
yeah,
done the work, man. I didn't just
yeah,
wake up one day
yeah,
and go, I'm going to own an accounting firm and only work 2 hours a week. No, you can't. You
yeah.
have to do the work.
Yeah, or people are like, oh, how do you get to all these followers and all this stuff? And I'm
Do
like,
the work.
because for 4 years, I've spent 10 to 15 hours a week doing this stuff.
Yep.
And now, and only now am I like, okay, I should probably like monetize whatever that means. So LinkedIn's downside is that the monetization piece of it isn't like YouTube, where if you hit certain metrics, you begin to be automatically
Uh,
monetized, right? Or like an Instagram where,
TikTok.
or TikTok or all those things. There's no built-in monetization tool. So then it becomes you'll see some people doing promoting,
Yeah.
what's it called? Promotion posts, promoted posts, sponsored posts, things of that
Hmm.
nature where people are paying them. But then in my mind, I'm like, I do not want to do that because
Yeah.
how many apps can I talk about that are paying me before I appear to
See,
be, soul,
that's what
soul,
I did.
like a
So I
sellout.
did influencer stuff a few years ago, and
Yeah.
I hated it because I felt like
Yeah.
NASCAR. Hey
Hmm.
Sharon, here's money. Tell everybody how awesome our product is. I'm like, but I just did something for someone else, like in your same
Yes.
field that I believe in. They're like, yeah, but we're paying you. I'm like, oh my God. So I did it for like a couple months, and I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't I can't do it.
No.
And then not only that, they control you and what you can say, when you say
Hmm.
it, how you
Yeah.
say it. Like right now, could you imagine if I'm not sponsored? I sponsor myself.
Yeah,
First of all,
exactly.
I don't think anybody would want to sponsor me. That's not true. But I don't want to be beholden to other people's rules because I don't
Yeah.
fit into their box. And I don't.
Right.
I've been told by many companies are like, we love you, we love who you are, but as a corporation, we need you to. And
Right.
I'm like, and
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I won't be. So I get you. I get
Yeah.
you.
And so I've gone to the path of like ad reads. And I feel like, ad reads on this podcast, for example, this is a new thing in 2026. Like honestly, I don't even know who's going to do this one because, it's kind of like once I get started, the first one I'm going to do is on the one that's going to drop in a couple days. Somebody had actually, the Abacore guy, David, was like, I'll absolutely do it. Whatever you're doing, I'm down. But here's the point, to your point. Now it got weird. So literally the very first ad read that I got asked, and actually got somebody to do was with Abacore. And guess what? Ping, right? The direct competitor, just literally, I didn't even ask. They just reached out like, hey, by the way, is there any way we can help you out too? And I'm like, this is amazing. But now I literally, on the very first ad read, I got these two companies that I feel very, like, it's not like I don't care about one versus the other.
Yeah.
Because both of them have been tremendously supportive. So literally on the very first one, I'm sitting there and I'm going, crap. Like already we're starting with this.
I know, you feel crappy, right? You feel like
do.
you
I
sold
do.
out.
Yes.
And I
I'm
just
sitting there and I'm
can't
going,
do it.
yeah.
I
can't do this
feel
whole
you.
like, I can't do this whole like, okay, well, if you pay me more, like, no. Like,
No,
I'm not
I
doing
honestly
that.
would rather not have your money and
Yeah.
instead have a partnership. And that's why I tell
Yeah.
people, I will work with you. This is a two-way street. I will tell people how much I love you. You help push what I do. I don't want your
Yeah.
money because I'm
Yeah.
not bought. And
Yeah.
this is no offense. There are some people that still participate in this model. It's just not for me. Those people sit better with corporate, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We all can't be the same. So I'm not talking crap about them doing it. Everybody has their own goals and
Yeah.
priorities and how they handle things, but it's not me. And I feel the
Yeah.
same way as you. I tried it, didn't like
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
Even
So,
Anchor tried it in the beginning too, and they're like, yeah, we don't like that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. Let's just all stop doing this. And they were one of the
yeah.
first ones that said no. In fact, Double Keeper said, no, we're not
Yeah.
doing influencers. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. And then Anchor's like, no, we're done.
Yeah, Anchor has been really big into like they're just they what do they call it? Shared, not sponsored. Yeah, shared, not sponsored. That's what they say. Because at the end of the day, like I want you to share the stuff genuinely, and we're paying nobody
Yep. Yeah.
to do nothing. Because at the end of
Yep.
the day, the moment you start that, then it's like again, it's like it just becomes a thing where it's how many times it almost like a food influencer, like somebody who's out there talking about, this is the best steakhouse in New Jersey. This is the best steakhouse in New Jersey. Also, this is the best steakhouse in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, these are all the best. Okay, now wait a second.
Pick
Now
one.
Pick
Yeah. One.
Yeah, and people, I mean, it's working, right? But to me, it's just not for me. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's kind
I'm
of my
there
take on
with
it.
you.
It's been a little weird, and we're
I
gonna
get in too much
see.
trouble, man. I get in so much trouble. They're like, Sharrin, we have to re-record that. You can't say that. I'm like, but it's the truth. They're like, yeah, but you can't say it. I'm like, but
Yeah.
everybody's thinking it. I know, but
Yeah.
you just can't say it. I'm like, done.
Yeah.
I'm not re-recording anything.
Yeah, and the re-recording thing too. Yeah, multiple takes. So we're gonna see how these ad reads go. If
Yeah,
I
good
like
luck.
I like it. I'm only gonna do it with people that I work with or
Yeah.
have used, and I feel like that'll be a little bit more genuine. So we'll see how that goes. What was I gonna ask you? I was gonna ask. So you got a book. Let's talk about that.
I do have a
You have a
book.
book.
It's weird. I feel weird about
yeah.
it.
What's can you take me through the process of like writing a book? What's that
Originally
been like for you?
it was originally just going to be like my Startup to Seven Figures course. I was going to put it into a book, and then I started writing, and there were all these stories I wanted to tell, and I thought, okay, before I put out this book, I want to tell people my journey because it is kind of fun of where I started, how I got to where I did, all the failures to get there, and it turned into being something that I just wanted people to say, oh, well, she did it from that. Well, then I can do it. You just have to keep getting back up. You have to keep going. You have to learn, and you can't quit. And that's kind of the thought of it is not hard. If you make a mistake, no big deal, fix it. Sometimes they're costly mistakes, but it's okay. It's a mistake. We learn, we won't do it again. And that's the point. So that's what it really is. It's unfollow the rules, messy truth about burnout, bad decisions, and building until it works. So it's my story. It's less of a how to, and it's more of a how I did, my journey of how I got there. And then of course I do kind of give people, but here's what kind of led to a little bit when I finally figured it out, what my success was. But writing it was, I'm ADHD. So I read it twice, and every time I read it, I wanted to rewrite it, and I kept being told, Sharrin, it's fine, because I wanted to add more depth. I wanted to give away more. I'm an oversharer, and I'm like, I need to tell this story more. And I'm like, they're like, do that in a different book. I'm like, son of a gun. So it was very hard for me to stick to a topic because I'm like, oh, but they need to know the backstory here. And I think when you read it, you're kind of like, yeah, she's got a little bit of ADHD. Like we start here, we go here, but then we come back here because anyhow. But so far I haven't had anybody tell me that they can't follow it. I mean, my grandma read it and she's going to lie to me anyways. Great. She's like 87, but she's like, I didn't understand a lot of the big words, but I liked the story and you're really funny. I'm like, thanks, Grandma. And I feel like my grandma would, actually, I feel like she would be like, she ain't got nothing to lose at this point. She's 87.
She got no filter. She didn't know
care.
Time to, she'd be
Grandma's like, girlfriend, take that off Amazon. You have more of those? Burn them. But it was scary because I'm also very vulnerable in there. I go into about losing my mom, and I go into, the failure, the issues that happened when I sold my first firm and then when I started again. So it's really vulnerable, and even though I'm oversharing, usually when I share, I can see people or I'm doing it. When you write it and you're not there when they're reading it, you can't give context or answer questions. And so it's been kind of scary. I just keep waiting to see something negative come up, and then I'll want to fight because I'm a fight or flight. I prefer the fight. I'm coming for you. Then let's get a beer. We're cool now, right? But so it's been fun. I'm gonna work on. I'm actually gonna put out my start up to 7 figures this year too. But I won't do a big old thing like I did with this one. It's just more of my course in a book. But no, it was. I'm glad I did it. I enjoy it. I really enjoy writing blogs. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So.
And I feel like you've created something where you have the time and you have the ability, and sharing that message is incredible because people need to hear it. What would you say is a big mistake that you made that you want to highlight to the listeners, so that they can learn from what you
get paid before you do anything? I don't care. I don't care what the sob story is. I don't care who the person is on the other side. If you're not giving it away for free, which you shouldn't, get paid first. And I know there's projects where like, hey, we need progress billing, great. Get paid, do the first part. Get paid, do the second part. Do not do anything unless you get paid, or you will not get paid. There's no reason to bill people hours after the fact. Hourly, honestly, should be done. There should be a retainer. Bill against the retainer, but don't work if you're not getting paid for it, because you can't get that time back, and you can't get any of it back.
Can you share that story? That
oh my God, I've got one in there. I lost like $35,000, and we just kept doing more and more because he was like gaslighting us, and he's like, well, you guys didn't do this, and so now I need you to fix this. And then finally it came to a point where he's like, yeah, I'm just not paying you. I'm like, then we turned him in anyways. He ended up going bankrupt, but that was the bittersweet of that one. And then I just did it again. It's just to show you that I didn't learn. About a year and a half ago, another client was like, look, I'm selling. We don't have any more money, but I'm buying it. But to be able to sell it, I need to be able to do this. Can you guys do this? And then I will pay you. That was $9,000. This was just a year and a half ago. And of course I did it. He was my client for like 2 years. I'm like, sure, stupid. I know better.
Good for that time leading up to it? They were good? Or was it like
up until the 2 months prior when they were running out of money? I'm like, what's going on? And then he came to me and goes, I just didn't know what we were doing, and now I know. And I was like, against everything that I teach, I should have said no, and I didn't. And I'm just like, you idiots. Like, you learned this like a decade ago. What are you doing? And I did it again. So it's the empathy, right? You want to help everybody. That's our problem as accountants. We want to help you. We see a problem. We can fix that. No problem. But we need to get paid.
Yeah, we need to get paid. And it's you say that it's this weird feeling that, so I recently with Anchor converted to 50% upfront.
Okay.
50% upfront, 50% at the end. The relationships are solid. So and to date, knock on wood, I haven't,
they're solid till they're not.
They're solid till they're not. But I haven't had an issue with it because, what in Anchor, they go in and they put their payment information in.
Yeah.
And so effectively, you bill at the 50% at the beginning, and then you hit that.
You don't release anything until you get that final payment, right?
Correct. I do not know.
I wait
No.
until to make sure that it didn't bounce. I wait until it's
Yeah.
initiating process in deposit, and then I release,
And then you
because
submit.
a
Yeah.
day or so later it could bounce, and then you've already given it to them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because the interesting thing is some people out there are very big believers in the 100% upfront. And I think that's an interesting concept.
I do that a lot.
But to your
For our
point
tax.
but to your point about, like us being people pleasers and empathetic and all this stuff and wanting to fix things, it's this weird thing where like the pushback is often in our minds is,
it's
well,
in our head.
It's in our head, right? And we go, well, if we want to, if we do it all at the beginning, they're going to say, why am I paying this in the beginning? And then,
Girl, because we're working on it and I'm paying people to do it. It costs me to get this done. I have to prepay your license, I have to prepay everything.
Yeah.
So yes, I am making sure in the beginning. And if we come across roadblocks during and I need to charge you more, we will have a conversation before I charge you more. But I always tell them the good thing is here's your bill.
Yep.
Barring something crazy, you're not going to be done and get this crazy bill you didn't know about. I am telling you, this is what my scope of service is, which is measurable. And I will tell you if there's something additional. And usually that's my way of getting them. And they're like, okay, cool. Yeah. But no, I try to get even my tax returns. I charge them all up front. I just, like I said, I just have dealt with too much. And it's an insecurity thing, though, for those that won't.
Yeah, it is. It's 100%. I mean, most things, right? In changing your firm, updating your firm, putting something in there, it's mostly all insecurity.
100%.
Because the answer is always, well, it's worked before. The reason why you're saying that to yourself, that, well, it's worked before, so why would it be a problem now? Like, why should I change anything? Is because you're just scared.
You don't want to lose the money. I get it. But until you lose the money. And then you're back even further. You've done the work. You've paid your people. So it's just one of those things. It's a balancing act. But you really have to get out of your own head and be like, I'm worth this. And if they don't want it, fine, I don't want your friggin' money. Go somewhere else. Go let somebody else screw it up. I'm worth this. And now that I'm doing advisory, it's not easy. It's more custom advisory. And so I'm sending out much higher proposals because I'm helping people integrate firms and build tech stacks and all these things. And so I'm sending out larger proposals and I have panic attacks. I'm like, am I worth this? And I am, and I know I am. And for some people, my value may not be worth what I'm saying I want to charge. But what typically happens, and always happens, is they go try to do it on their own, or they go somewhere else, didn't get to the results they want, or they mess it up. And then they come back to me and I'm like, now I should charge you more, but I'm going to charge you exactly what I originally charged you, because it's not any worse. You lost money, but now let's fix it. So yeah,
I have this. I know I've had this feeling before. When you have that exact moment where you're going, oh my God, you're like, like this. Am I worth this much money? And then like you send out you send out the agreement for $6,000, and the client immediately signs it, and you go, shit.
Yeah,
because
went higher.
Higher.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Or you've just sold yourself. Yeah, it is. It's scary, right? Every time I sign an agreement, I'm like, are they going to tell me that I'm outrageous? Like, you're just worried. Yeah. But then again, I'm not. I'm like, you get what you pay for, man. I don't know what to tell you. You've been having this problem for how long and talking to how many people? Now you come to me.
Right.
And you think I'm going to be cheap? I get results. Results ain't cheap. Like, I get stuff done and I do more than I should. So I know I undercharge compared. Like my advisor, I'm like, here is what I do. And I'm like, I do this because I have a problem.
Right.
But I'm also really trying to build up my name in the advisory more. And sometimes you just have to do a little bit more in the beginning for a little bit less, unfortunately, because that's just how it is. I'm going from running a firm to telling other people how to run a firm. And I'm not worried.
Yeah. Proof of concept also has to take a little bit of time before it really spreads out. And that's interesting. So what's
and consistency.
What does a successful 2026 look like for you? If we fast forward,
I grow my community to 200, and I am constantly advising and helping people. I just want to help as many people as possible that need my help. I really want to grow my community to 200 and get my my Startup to 7 book out. So, and then my Women Who Count conference, I want to get that up to 350 attendees. So
awesome. I love that. What's your community at right now? How many members?
I think we're up to like 60. Oh, no, we're not there yet. Maybe 40. I honestly haven't, we just launched it maybe last August, but then I had Women Who Count and then I took a sabbatical. So I haven't been charging. I don't think we're not going to charge for another month or so, just because now I need to get in and build the make sure that it's a value add. But I mean, I do a FAQ call every Thursday. And so anybody that hops on and wants to ask questions about whatever, we try to do topics, but really it kind of depends on who's on there. Because if it's just a couple people, I'm like, what are we talking about? What do you need help with? So, yeah.
On that community side of things, I have, it was my failure, in 2025. I have a post about that. I launched a community in June of 2025. It's so freaking hard.
It's consistency and yeah.
I just can't. I just ended it. I just officially ended it. I made a whole post about it.
What did you use? What app did you use?
Circle.
Okay, I'm on Circle too. We were on Kajabi. I moved to Circle because I liked it better. But it's really about getting people involved. So I am trying to be like, how do I get people to get on this?
My big challenge was, at least you are consistent in that your whole thing in the community is for firm owners and people who want to improve their processes and all this stuff.
Yep.
My big problem was that the community that I launched had a phenomenal intention, which is to help people in their first 5 years at the bigger firms with mentorship. It was called Mentors Count. And because I knew that it was missing, I knew as a staff person right now who's sitting there probably at home, or maybe they're in the office, but everybody else is at home. They're not getting that help. They're not getting that guidance. And so I wanted to create a space where they can go in and ask their questions. The problem was my follower base on LinkedIn, which is the primary place. My follower base is accountants that either have their own firms and want to create this lifestyle firm, or it's somebody who's maybe 10 years, 15 years into their career or less a little bit.
It's hard rebuilding the followers. That's the thing. I want mine to be for professional services, but we're starting in accounting because that is where I live. And then from there, I'll segregate, right? This is for everybody, but this is specific. I'll have subsections. Here's how I do these things that work for everybody, but here's accounting specific. Here's this specific. But accounting is just it's my spot right now. It's easy. It's the people I know. Although coincidentally, my first few advisory clients are insurance and healthcare. I'm like, where did you find me? And they're like, oh, somebody referred you here, or I saw you here. I'm like, I do accounting stuff and you guys found me there. So, it just shows that my systems work across. But yeah, of course, my background's accounting. It's just where I'm going to always probably be the most efficient.
Yeah.
Don't tell everybody else that.
For me, it was a tough realization to that the amount of work that those communities take. It was, effectively, it was a whole new business. It really was.
I have a community manager.
Oh,
I have to. Smart. It is a whole new business. It takes, and if you don't put your time into it, you're not going to get anywhere. I was charging
$25 a month from the client, from the members, and even the $25 a month, even though it's not necessarily a lot of money, I literally at one point was just I'm not providing you any value.
Yeah, you
whatsoever.
Feel guilty. Yeah,
I'm taking $25 a month, and I don't and the problem within Circle, I will tell you, is that so you. Pausing, you can't pause the membership, for example. So in my mind, when I started realizing back in October or November that it was going south, I was like, okay, I'll pause it, maybe the billing for 2 months or for whatever amount of time.
Oh, we have. Maybe they've changed that now because we have pushed it out. We meant to start charging, and I'm not comfortable taking people's money yet. Oh. I've given some good value add in there, but I am not comfortable. I would not feel good sitting down with these people and saying, I have charged you this. Thank you for your money. I don't feel, exactly. I need to feel good about that, and whether or not they use it is up to them, but I don't feel good about it yet. But give me through February. And I think by April 1, I'll start charging because I'll have 2 months because this is all I'm focusing on now. Yeah. Exactly. So I'll be able to really get in there and get stuff done and hopefully bring a value. But no, I respect that. I'm the same way. I just can't, I'm not going to take people's money just to take it, which is why I don't survive in corporate.
Yeah. And I think that's a good realization that I've had, and so I've shared that for people who think that communities are an easy money grab.
No.
But I really, oh God, no. But I really appreciate your time. Yes. This is a really good conversation. I think that there's a ton of value for people who are listening with solo firms, maybe possibly.
I love a solopreneur or people, just brand new startups who are I'm so good at what I do. I've been doing it for Joe Schmo. They suck. I'm doing it my own now. I'm like, yes. Get it. Let's do this. And it's not too late to start an accounting firm.
It's not. It's never
taxes ain't going nowhere. Books, accounting ain't going nowhere. You just have to find your special and the relationship you're going to build and work on that.
Yeah. And the one thing to take away if somebody is listening who has a firm already and has been doing things the same way for X amount of years, is take a look at those things, because, and reach out to Sharrin or whoever. And if you're struggling with something, join the community, ask your questions in there about those things that do bother you, that, maybe are taking you quick and you've been doing them, but maybe there's something out there that's going to help you kind of with that process. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you feel like?
No, I do want to make sure everybody knows more people does not equal more success. When you go to a conference, like, oh, how big's your firm?
Oh yeah.
Tell them my profit margin is 47%. That is what it should be weighed on, is your profit margin, not your number of team members or number of clients. Honestly, I work 3 days a week and my profit margin's 47%. Holy crap. Well, great. Weigh yourself on that, not your people.
Exactly. And there's such a big focus. You're so right. Like, there's such a big focus on those numbers. How many people do you have? What's your gross revenue? Come on. We all know gross revenue is meaningless, right?
Yep.
Unless your profit, it's really your profit what you're taking home.
Yeah.
And so how many times have I heard, obviously in private and not in the world of LinkedIn public, that, people tell me like, oh, dude, you clear like 75% profit or whatever it is, that's your take home profit.
Before my OpEx.
Profit, like for me, like, on my 300
yours,
or whatever, like my profit is, and I tell them, and they're like, dude, like, don't tell anybody, but like, that's like, I don't even make that, and I have $2 million. So
most people are
revenue.
15% net profit if they're lucky, and that's not with their pay being on the P&L, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, because they're hiring people, not systems. Right. That's a whole other thing. But
But that's really what it comes down to me. And I'm like, that, you don't have to do anything that somebody else is doing because they're doing that, or because you're on LinkedIn and you're getting the FOMO, and that's really so important for me. So. If the people want to find you, where can they find you, and where should they go to join your community?
Yep. glasswalletventures.com. You will find everything. My community's there. A link to my book. Contact me. I'm S Fuller or Sharrin, RRIN, at glasswalletventures.com. Hit me up wherever. Always happy to answer questions or just say hi. I'll be at all of the conferences this year, like all of them, like everyone.
All of them. Wow, that's a bold
Quite
move.
a bit.
Oh man, awesome.
I have like 12 that we're going to, so it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big push.
But it's okay. Yeah.
But I love to hear that. So if you're listening, you're interested in the book, get the book, community, follow Sharrin, do all that stuff. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And we'll hopefully see you at one of those conferences.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Yuri!
All right, Sharrin.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Peace out.
Thank you.
Yep.